Hey crafty babes, Andrea here, and I could start this out by saying, guys, it's been so long since I've uploaded a video, but you guys know that because it's been 3 months. I've had a lot going on. YouTube kind of took a little bit of a back seat, but right now I'm in a better place that I can show you guys products and supplies and projects that I'm working on, and I can film things much easier, and I do plan on doing that for you guys super soon. The first thing I'm going to start with is a December daily DIY kit share. I guess that's what we're going to call it. It's a look inside all of the fun things that I'm using in my December daily album, and I'm really excited to share it with you. So let's take a look. This year, I'm using 2 different organizers, one for larger paper products and stickers and alphas and stamps, and then another one for smaller embellishments and textures and washi. So let's go through the main papers and stuff that I'm going to be using this year, and then we'll look at the embellishments. I have this organizer bin. I'm sure that you've seen this before. Several of us crafty girls are using this for lots of different projects. A lot of design team products tend to fit really well in here because it holds a lot of different size supplies, and it's got a nice handle here in the back so that you can pick it up and kind of take it around with you. To start, actually, this is the this is the notebook I'm going to be using. It's from Persnickety Prints, and I designed my own cover, and that is what's really cool about their custom journals, is that you can design your own cover and then you can decide what type of paper is inside. So it comes either plain paper, lined, or with dots. And for my Christmas notebook or December notebook, I decided I wanted to do lines so that I could make some really simple pages with photos, some stamps, embellishments, and then some journaling. So I just wanted something easy that I could put some journaling into. So it is about 6 by 8. It's a tiny bit less wide than 6 by 8. So if you were to nudge your papers and your things up against the spiral, then it's just a little less wide than 6 inches, but it fits 8 inches all the way from top to bottom. So that's really awesome. So I can still fit a lot of the traditional pocket pages and pocket page supplies inside of this notebook. I have a feeling it's going to get really full, so if I need to, I will try to research getting a larger coil, but I'm not there at this time, so I may or may not need to do that. But that is what I'm using to document my December this year. I have papers and paper scraps from last year. And so this is just kind of an idea of the color scheme I'm going with. It's going to be mostly black and white and red with some blues thrown in because there's just always these colors naturally in our photos, and some greens. I don't like real bright greens, so I'm just using some muted colors, lots of black and white, lots of Felicity Jane from last year and the year before. Actually, I picked up one of the 2016 kits when they were having a super big sale because I loved all of the papers. Oh, look, I have extra embellishments. I'll be able to use those later. Yeah, a lot of neutrals just because I want the album this year to be really super simple. And this is one of those cut apart sheets that I forgot to cut apart, again, from 2016. And I've already used these. I've had 3 of these kits now. This is my 3rd 2016 Christmas kit. Hello, Christmas. It's one of my faves. So this is just an idea of papers that I'm going to be using. I have a lot of scraps as well, so I wanted to make sure I kept them all together. Got lots of goodies in here. They're not fitting properly. There we go. So I'm using a little Studio Calico pouch. Because it's see-through, it helps to know what's in here, and then I'm just loading it up with some smaller pages and some scraps from last year. All of this is just from last year. I didn't buy much this year. The other pouch that's in here is a lot of alphas. So we're going LA Studio alphas mainly because their colors are the colors that I'm going to be using this year. And then some extra embellishments that they're just easier if you keep them together, like these puffy hearts. I don't like when they slip down into the other embellishments. So I am keeping them in this pouch, keeping them all together. Moving on to some smaller 6x8 and 6x6 papers. I still have the Fa La La 6x8 collection from, or the 6x8 paper pad, 6x6 paper pad. Oh my goodness, from last year. So I'm still gonna pick through this because a lot of these colors are what's going on in my house and just the colors that I like for this year. Neutrals, reds, blacks and whites, and some green. And then here are some other pieces from other 6x6 paper pads. I'm pretty sure that a couple of these are Felicity Jane. Then I think, I don't know, maybe some crepe paper. They're just, I have them in my stash and I went through everything to just see what would be color scheme that I like. We have the 6x8s from LA Studio that I'm going to be using because I love that they have added the pinks and the teals. Those colors always end up showing up in my photos, and it's always so perfect to be able to have non-traditional Christmas colors in your stash, because not every single photo that you take daily has to do with Christmas, number one, and they're not always going to be Christmas colored photos. And for me, I like the photos to match the color supplies that I'm using. So if I end up with, you know, a picture of Marshall in, shocker, a bright blue trapper hat, I'm gonna wanna have some blue in my stash because that's life. The other 6x8 papers that I'm gonna be using a lot of are from In a Creative Bubble, and I bought mostly everything from her recent Christmas release. So there are some really fun pattern papers, and this is probably one of my favorites. It's gonna go really close to the front of my notebook. Since I already have an opening page, I did that before I knew what her stuff was gonna look like, but this is definitely gonna make it in there. And I like that there's just some really fun neutrals. Some of these are upside down. I love this so much, just ledger paper in general. Some words, more ledger paper. Oh, I just love these so much. And I love that there's some yellow thrown in here because, again, yellow just ends up in a lot of Christmas photos, December photos for some reason. Neutrals, patterns, some leaves, trees, and then some really fun ones to fill out. Throw a little picture here, do some journaling. I love this so much. Now for me, I'll be able to trim this down a little bit on each side and it will still fit and still keep the same composition that she was striving for here, even though I'm not using a full 6x8 album. More patterns. Oh, I love this so much. It's just super colorful. I love this. I think it would be really fun to throw, maybe this could be used for a day that has a lot of photos, and maybe you can do like some 2x2s here and just kind of do a little collage, or maybe just one fun, long, skinny photo. Fun pattern, little triangles. And this actually didn't print properly when I printed originally, but I decided to keep it anyway because I can either trim it or I can decide to throw something here or put another piece of pattern paper here or do some photos or embellishing anything I want there. And then this is from the Advent collection from the Print and Pray shop, Illustrated Faith, last year. And I still really liked the colors and it was in my stash, so it got tossed in here for sure. Okay, so those are 6x8s. And then these are both Traveler's Notebook sized and 3x8 sized. Most of them are from In a Creative Bubble, and some, actually I think they all are. There might be one Felicity Jane thing in here. And then some of these things, even though they were meant to be a Traveler's Notebook size, if I ended up printing two of them because a couple of them got messed up. I printed twice. I trimmed this out so I was just left with the outline instead of the extra border that was around it so that it looks a little bit different than the other one that I ended up keeping. So loving this season. This really fun stripe, some trees. I love that she just already kind of puts things on here for you to just fill stuff in. It makes things really quick and simple when you're looking for that. Filler cards are so fun. So this one here ended up printing twice. So what I did was I cut this Joy ticket out, and you'll see that that's going to be in my embellishments. Merry Everything. Her graphic style is just makes me so happy. Places for journaling and photos. And I'm seriously just gonna pop these in. They don't have to fill up the whole page. I can decorate around them. I can also punch holes to kind of fit into the spirals. So I'll be doing that a little bit too. December stories. These are from last year, I'm pretty sure, these three. At least these two, I think. I have some flashcards in red and green that I thought would be really fun to throw in there. And then these are the Traveler's Notebook sized papers that were from her collection this year. So she did a lot of different sizes, which is really fun. Because for me, I can use all the different sizes and it just gives people some extra options. I really love this card so much. This one too, this one too. Merry Moments, Making Spirits Bright. I love this. If I were to print this again, I would even cut this one out, and that's something I'm gonna do for one of them that printed twice. I've just cut the circle out, which can be then used as an embellishment, and you don't have to have the whole page. Oh yeah, and then this is from Felicity Jane from, I think it was probably last year's kit. So those are my papers. And then we've got 6x8. I don't have these coordinated by color or organized by color because there's not that many of them. I just decided to keep them just kind of in a stack. And then I can look through them when I need to look for a 6x8. This is actually from my holiday magazine. The printables come in that. A couple of Ellie Studio things. More Ellie Studio from this year and previous years. This is all from the Document December kit. I love this calendar. It's just so fun to be able to like throw some embellishments on here for like special days, or even just noting one day and just like putting a little heart there or something and just using it as a little calendar like it is. This one printed twice, so I just need to trim that little side off. Felicity Jane from 2016. Some older Ellie Studio stuff that I didn't use last year. And I think this is from Studio Calico a couple of years ago. Well, actually, probably lots of years ago, because I think I've had this in my stash for 5 years. So the 3x4 cards, I always like to keep organized by color, because when I'm scrapbooking one kind of project like this, it's so much easier to just grab for the colors that I'm looking for. And so what I did is I grabbed labels from my stash and I just stapled a color label to a shipping tag. I just took the string off and adhered different random colors. I mean, they're not all from the same place. Like this one's from Illustrated Faith. These are from Ellie Studio. So I just grabbed whatever I had just to, indicate what color the cards are. And it's just an easy way for me to visually see what things are. I used a multicolored one here. This is from The Reset Girl. And then I have one here that just says daily and numbered. And so these cards right here are gonna be like something that that talks about the day. And then I also got in a Creative Bubbles daily cards. I only printed out the first couple of sheets. I didn't print out all of them because I know I'm not gonna use them every day. So what I'll do is if I'm looking for that and I only have like a number 2, but I'm looking for day number 10 and I didn't print them, I'll just print that page and then use the dates that I want. So here are all of the red cards. So I'm not going to go through every single one of them, but as you can see, there's a lot from Ellie Studio mostly, Felicity Jane from last year, Ellie Studio from last year, and then also 3x4 cards from In a Creative Bubble, and then some from my holiday magazine as well. And more In a Creative Bubble, lots of In a Creative Bubble. And then some pinks. There's some Reset Girl stuff in here. So like here, even though it says 2017 memories, you could always like white this out and throw a little word strip over it or some washi. You can still use these things even if they're from previous years. And I like how there's different shades too. Not all pinks are gonna end up being the same, so it's nice to be able to have a couple of options. And then a couple of yellows. I don't have much, but they're there for when I need them. Multicolor is going to be things like this that have just more than one color and one color isn't more dominant over another. So some Reset Girl stuff from a couple of years ago, some Ellie Studio stuff from my magazine again, and In a Creative Bubble. There's a lot of green, more green than any other color. There is just a serious plethora of cards in different shades. Again, I do like that I have the option for different shades because sometimes you take a picture with the grass and it's nice and bright, or you take a picture with the tree and it's kind of more of a darker green. So it's very nice to be able to have lots of options. And then blues and teals are all going to be together, and there's listing things, and there's dark blues and teal colors and kind of lighter minty color blues. And again, more stuff from my magazine as well. Anything that just basically doesn't have a color and has just a contrast. So it's either going to be black and white or gray. And sometimes I do separate out things like this that are like things to fill out, but I just decided this year I was going to go strictly color because I don't have a real big supply stash this year. So I think it'll be easy for me to know what's what. Okay, a couple other things in here is I've got this whole stack here of like taller embellishments. So let's go through these. Always going to keep a stack of doilies because they're just perfect for all the things. And then some little puffy stickers. They're just nice neutral colors. And then some older stickers from last year's the Reset Girl stuff. And I just like that there's this really cute vintage vibe. There's still a lot of red and green in here that match the colors that I'm using this year. Word strip stickers, always with the word strip stickers. They're just easy for journaling. Ellie Studio labels. I've got some of these still in the full sheets, and then I've got a whole other section that are already cut up. And then I do love to keep these punched out die pieces because they're really fun for like, I did one of these last year for Ellie Studio, and you can just use the negative space and then you can fill in the little parts with different things from your stash, like different embellishments that are different sizes. Like you could put a heart inside of the blue circle there, and you can put word strips in here and journaling, and it's just really fun, an extra little piece of flair. I have this still from last year's Cherish collection from TRG. Some random labels, I think those are from October, and then some of the November stickers and the Christmas labels. And then I'm really excited actually to share with you the stamps that I'll be using. I think the stamps this year are my most favorite. I'm really excited about keeping things really simple with stamping, and the quality of the paper in the notebook from Persnickety Prints is really, really good. So it doesn't show through a whole lot. So let me actually show you. So this is a stamp from Ellie Studio. I stamped it right on the page, and like the light shining through, you can see, but if you've got the paper down like this, you can hardly even see any shadowing from the other stamp on the other side. So I really am gonna utilize stamping a lot in this notebook, and the reason why is because I'm trying to stay away from thick embellishments, and the stamping obviously isn't thick at all, and I've got so many wonderful ones here I'm really excited about. So this is going to be an LE Studio one. Obviously we're going to have several LE Studio just because being on the design team, I get all the things and they're so good, and I just love the designs, and they're very simple, and they're great, and they're wonderful quality as well. So there's this one here, this Merry Moment. I love this seal. It's going to be used a lot. And speaking of seals, these are all holiday seals, and I just love, 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 love them. I got some new red StazOn ink, so that'll be really fun to do some of these in red, but I really like how crisp the black StazOn looks with these stamps. And there's these little half circle stamps too. This is actually the Noteworthy stamp, and the reason why I'm going to keep this in my stash is because it's got a lot of everyday phrases. So it has like this grid, it's got life is made of special moments like this. Like I could totally use that. Favorite, I could use that. It's got a numbers sequence, so that's really cool for using the date stamp and stuff like that. And it's got one of my favorite little clusters here is this plus sign, details important. Remember, these are all things that can be translated very easily into Christmas time and December documenting. So one of my faves. I picked up a couple of the new Christmas stamps from Carrie Bradford Studio because her stamps are amazing, and I've been seeing all the really fun tags and things that the girls have been making with all of these stamps, and I'm just really excited to, again, make stamping more of a focus in this album. So I've got this one that's got all kinds of little greenery, make a list, let's be merry. Again, like all these things can be used multiple times. They don't just have like a one-time use to them. And then this one is my super favorite. This is called Wrapped. And so it's meant for like making tags. So you can stamp on the edge of the tag or then cut around the edges, or you could put these like and layer them down at the bottom. So you've got like these tags that you check it out. Check out her Instagram feed, because there's so many super fun ideas that the girls have been doing, and I just couldn't help myself. And of course the stars are so cute, and I love anything with stars on them. I found these big alpha stamps at Tuesday Morning, and I love that they came with a number set. So I'm going to be using these in place of like alphas. I mean, I've got some, I didn't even show you the alphas that I'm going to be using. I'll get back to those, but I just love that they're big and bold. I haven't used any of them, so oh my gosh. And I really don't know the quality, but clearly you have to like tear them apart. I don't know. I really wanted like a big, at this point, now I'm not as excited because they seem a little difficult to use, but they were, like $5 or $6. Anyway, I liked that they were big. I liked that they were a nice solid font, and I'll be using those for, noting the dates of things. Okay, let me show you the larger alpha thickers I'm going to be using, and then we'll move on to the embellishment. So I bought a second sheet of these large puffy alphas and numbers from Felicity Jane. As you can see, I have the first set, and I've used a lot, but I haven't used everything. But because they were having a big giant sale when she moved over the summer, I grabbed another because they're good for all the projects, not just for Christmas time. But then I have these neutral ones. I feel like I got these at Target in the dollar spot like 3 or 4 years ago. And then I got the polka dot ones too. I feel like it's been that long. And then I'm going to use these candy cane stripey ones. So if I use alphas, I'm using the ones that are pretty thin and pretty neutral. I'm using this drawer organizer. It's a clear drawer organizer. You can probably find these at, your Target, your Walmart, probably, any of your like Bed Bath & Beyond places, any place that's going to have even Container Store, which I know you're gonna be shocked to know this. I've never been inside of a Container Store because I'm actually really afraid of how much money I would spend in a place like that. So I've strategically stayed away for a long time. All right, but we're gonna start with washi. So these are the washi's that I decided to go with this year because obviously they match the colors that I'm using, as well as these are basically all of my favorites. So I picked my favorites and they happen to be in the right colors, and that's just how things work. I'm using some texture as well, so I've got some ribbon, obviously, buffalo plaid, some twine, some ribbon type texture-y stuff. I've got some extra texture from Felicity Jane's kit last year. This big giant clip that we got from the Creatives Club Weekend in the Woods retreat. I'm going to be using that on a page or maybe even on the front cover or somewhere. So that's my texture. I've got to keep it real minimal, and just because it's, like I said, it's a notebook, so I don't just have like room and room and room to grow this notebook, so I'm trying to keep everything as flat as possible. In here I have all of my labels, so any Christmassy colors, mostly from LE Studio because they just rock it with the labels. Every one of their labels is perfection. Then I have this little bin of the Avery self-adhesive divider tabs. So I have them in the 1 inch and the 2 inch. And these will be used for like the ends of the pages so that I can add color to the outside, or I can use them for flip pockets if I want to put like a card and then have some journaling underneath it. You can use one of these, stick it on there. These little things just peel right off. And then you can throw like patterned paper in here or anything. It's really fun. Here I have some larger flat embellishments. I have this acrylic 25 in here. I just don't know if I'm going to be able to use it because it's really, really thick. So here's some stuff from last year's Advent Print and Pray Shop stuff. We've got Joy from last year, Felicity Jane kit, some florals, some Shauna Klingerman stuff, some Shauna Noel stuff, and this really cute little bingo card and this big joy word. And then I've got the next 3 sections broken out into by size, basically. So this is going to be all the small stuff. So tickets and flat little embellishments and little wood veneers. There is so much stuff in here, from LE Studio to My Magazine, older TRG stuff, just random little bits. Those are going to be really fun to use. And then these are going to be like medium-sized things and some circles. So we've got little circles from the LE Studio kit, some older, not even Christmas stuff, but I just love that the colors match so much. Citrus Twist. Here's some old crate paper stuff from last year, some little tissue papers in a creative bubble, of course. I've got to have the buffalo plaid. Lots of stuff from crate paper last year that I did not use that I'm really excited to use this year. There's always so much that I want to use and never enough time or space. I love this little tea because I drink tea. I don't always drink it warm, but if I do, I'll be using that. And then I just picked some extra little ephemera pieces that match the colors, greens and reds. And then here are some larger things, and these are mostly going to be tickets and tags. So actually, let me move this out of the way. We'll be able to see these a little bit better. Holly Jolly, which you and I found together. Some TRG, little faith tickets, sale ticket, some little tags from LME Creative, which were an exclusive in the holiday issue of Retro Hit magazine. Lots of LE Studio tags. They did a whole pack of tags this in their collection this year. And then I actually made some tags for one of my December daily prep video or prep projects. So any of these white ones with some embellishments on them, those I made, and I'm really excited about just having some pre-prepped embellishments. So tickets from In a Creative Bubble, more tags, and this is what that stamp can do, one of those seal stamps from Ellie Studio. So stinking cute. I grabbed this little money, fake little bill because I liked the mint color. It really looks good with a lot of the other embellishments that I'm using. Extra tags, lots of tags, bigger tags, some more tissue paper, and a little library card pocket because those are just so good for journaling and all of the things. Journaling and all the things. There is an extra special little peek inside my December daily stash and kit that I'm going to be using for 2018. I'm super excited to get started. I've already done several pages in my notebook for just prepping, getting some pages ready. Looking forward to documenting our December dailies together, and I'll be sharing flip throughs as we go through the month. Usually I do a couple flip throughs. I do one about halfway through and then one when I finished my album, so it'll probably be the same going forward, and I hope you join me for those. Thank you guys so much again for sticking around while I was on a little bit of a YouTube hiatus, but we are back with December Daily, and I couldn't think of a better way to get back onto YouTube with my favorite project of the whole entire year, December Daily. And a big shout out to Allie Edwards for creating this wonderful project. We all love it so much, and I hope that you finish your album this year. If you've decided to start, and if you've decided to document your December every day, make it as easy as you can, do as much as you can ahead of time, but give yourself some grace. But I do hope that you find the time to work on it regularly and get it finished this year. I know so many girls have gone back to their last year or previous years over the last few months and just killed it with getting their previous years finished, and I hope the best for you guys, and we'll see you in December. Thank you guys so much for watching. Talk to you really soon.